Upbeat, lively, sexy, and makes you just want to dance. Speaking of Latin music, those are often the few words that come to mind. A Latin music show always promises fun and joy, and earlier this week, music lovers in Hanoi was treated to such a night full of vibrant Latin melodies and rhythm by a group of talented artists hailing all the way from Colombia in South America. And in our On the Mic this week, we also had a chance to sit down and had a chat with the leader of the group, singer-songwriter Concha Bernal, a famous name in the Colombian music scene.
Colombia is a beautiful country in the northwest of South America, with a rich diversity of cultures reflected clearly in their music. Colombian music is known to be passionate, vibrant, and full of rhythms that just make everyone feel like moving to the beats. Earlier this week, many music lovers in Hanoi also had the chance to enjoy such a sensory experience with Colombian music, which was quite a rare occasion in the city.
Thực ra là mình rất thích nhạc Mỹ Latin và hôm nay đến đây thì mình thấy rất là hào hứng. Phong cách của nữ ca sĩ rất là bốc lửa và rất là nhiệt tình, rất là thể hiện được cái sự nội lực ở bên trong cô ấy.
Cá nhân mình cũng là một người khá là đam mê nghệ thuật ấy. Khi mà đến được với buổi biểu diễn ngày hôm nay thì mình cũng biết thêm được một cái nền văn hóa mới của đất nước Colombia. Sau đó là mình lại thấy được là biết được thêm về cái âm nhạc dân gian kết hợp với những cái đạo cụ âm nhạc hiện đại. Nó mang đến một cái hơi hướng khá là mới mẻ và thu hút người nghe.
These stellar performances were delivered by a famous name in the Colombian music scene, Concha Bernal and her band.
So first of all, thank you so much, Concha Bernal, for joining our show today.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to Vietnam, Concha Bernal. So you are a famous name in Colombia, but not many people in Vietnam have known about you yet. So can you introduce a bit about your music and your career?
My name is Concha Bernal. I'm a singer-songwriter from Colombia. My musical style is fusion, which combines Colombian folk music with the sound of electronic and bass guitars to bring a wind of modernity to the Colombian folk songs. In this way, my songs will be more approachable for the audience.
So many people have likened your music to a tropical symphony filled with Colombian folklore. What can you say about this?
Colombian culture is very rich and diverse, which expresses itself very strongly in music. Colombians inherit their music from the people of Africa and Spain and the indigenous people. Thanks to this combination, new rhythms and melodies are created for Colombian folk music, and my mission is to develop and preserve this legacy so it will not be lost.
So what kinds of performances are you treating the Vietnamese audience this time?
This time we're going on tour to 6 countries in the region, and Vietnam is our first stop. It is also in time for the 40th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Colombia and Vietnam too, and we have had a wonderful time in Hanoi. Our set list for the performance in Vietnam includes songs about the people of Colombia, the Caribbean region, the sea, beaches, sand, salt, and tropical fruits. We also have songs about brotherhood and the unitedness of all people, no matter what their skin colors are.
A singer, composer, and an artist, Concha Bernal has an excellent track record representing spirit of Colombian folk music. Her work features the mixture of sound from many traditional and modern musical instruments of Colombia. On stage, she is often recognized for her spontaneity, joyful aura, and a very distinctive Colombian atmosphere. With such talent, she has become the usual pick for Colombia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs in many of their cultural programs. And this time in Vietnam, she performed with her band also to kick off a series of events to commemorate the diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Colombia.
Her musical style is the folk music of Colombia's northern region, combined with modern instruments such as electric and bass guitars. Traditional Colombian percussion instruments, such as the tambora, are indispensable on her stage. This combination brings in freshness and creates new sounds for contrast music. I'm actually the newest addition to the band, and it is the first time I'm on tour with her. I think she has a clear idea and a plan on how to preserve Colombian folk music, and is very important. Besides, she is very organized.
In addition to performing, Concha Bernal also participated in several TV shows, including one telenovela where she played the role of a legendary Colombian folk singer.
So I also heard that apart from singing, you've also acted in some of Colombia's telenovelas and TV shows. Can you share a bit about that experience?
The role came to me quite unexpectedly. It's true that in 2016, I had the honor to play the role of the legendary artist Toto in the TV series La Casica. On a nice day, the film producer contacted me to invite me to the audition. This role is about a girl who can dance, sing, and pursue folk music. For me, it was a precious experience and I learned a lot from it. As the role was quite close to my personality and most of my scenes were singing, I didn't find it difficult at all.
So you seem to be a very strong advocate of the folk culture and music in your country. Is that why the Caribbean sound is such an important part of your music?
Yes, I love folk music because it is part of our origin. The people and the culture, with music included of course, are what make up Colombia today. It's important to understand where our music comes from. Only then can we understand that it is necessary to preserve these core values so our folk music and its beautiful melodies are not lost, but further developed and brought to the world.
During her time in Hanoi, Concha Bernal and her band also had a small and fun exchange with the students of the Vietnam National Academy of Music in a master class where they brought along a lot of Colombian instruments. It's not every day that the students can get an up-close view of a tambora or a pair of maracas like these, or have a band coming all the way from Colombia to perform right in front of them, let alone having a jam session with the artists themselves, much to the students' excitement.
Em cảm thấy rất là thích thú khi mà được gặp gỡ, giao lưu, học hỏi với các nghệ sĩ Colombia. Thì đây cũng là một trong những cái lần hiếm hoi mà sinh viên khoa gia bọn em có dịp được chứng kiến tận mắt cái thể loại âm nhạc này. Em thấy ban nhạc chơi rất là hay, rất là gắn kết và nếu mà nói là rất là groovy.
So is this your first time in Vietnam? And what was your impression of the country and people?
That's right, this is my first time in Vietnam. Vietnam is a great country with a rich and diverse cuisine. People are simple, always smiling and very friendly. While in Vietnam, we had a chance to meet with the students of the Vietnam National Academy of Music. They are very friendly, hospitable, and curious. Before coming here, we were a bit worried because we didn't have much understanding of Asian culture and music. However, we had an interesting talk about Vietnamese music with teachers and students of the jazz major at the academy, where we introduced them to Colombian folk music, showed some of our traditional instruments, and explained the differences between Colombian music and music from other countries in South America. After the master class, they treated us to some Vietnamese coffee. Your coffee is as delicious and strong as Colombian coffee. Also, we have just learned there is a store selling high-quality Colombian coffee beans in Hanoi.
Have you ever listened to Vietnamese music, or do you know any Vietnamese singers? What do you think about Vietnamese music?
In South America, people don't listen to Vietnamese music. But before coming here, I did some searching on the internet and found Vietnamese artists often have very high and smooth vocals, and I am very impressed by their falsetto. They're great. I would really like to see a performance of Vietnamese folk music, but due to my short time in Vietnam, I haven't had the chance to experience this.
Are there any plans to come back to Vietnam sometime soon? And do you wish to collaborate with any Vietnamese artists?
We would love to return to Vietnam. To be honest, the experience we had from the exchanges with the students of the Vietnam National Academy of Music was really great. Through that, we could understand more about another aspect of your culture. Hopefully in the future, I will have the opportunity to return to Vietnam. And I also hope that the next time I come back, I will have the opportunity to collaborate with Vietnamese artists.
So again, thank you so much for joining our show, and we wish you the best of luck in your future music career.